Hello, 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 hi, hi, hi. Welcome to a bonus episode podcast that I might make it a thing, but only when I really want to and when I can as well. Like this mic that I have right over here is not gonna be here with me not that much, so you know how it is. Um, it's because it's my brother's. The mic is my brother's, which I still appreciate a lot. Him giving me this mic, for be with me on for some days. Really good. Um, you know, um, so you can see that this bonus episode, we're with the greens. This I like to call them the greens. Um, but I'm here more like a. It's just me this time around. It's just me. I'm here more to talk about the new lore, or what I like to call season two of Five Nights at Freddy's. This time around, I have a topic and all that good shit. And it's gonna be this one. I might even consider being a hot take. This whole podcast will be a hot take. Let's start with the, at least to me, the obvious. The lore nowadays is way better than the old one. Which I know, the hot take, really big one. But this probably like this 1 hour that I'm probably gonna spend talking like a nerd. I'm gonna explain how. All right. First thing first. Okay, let's start with this. A lot of people say that the story ended in FNAF 6. Technically, you're not wrong. The story, the original story, season one. The story about the Afton family. What a Oh, I thought I was gonna burp. Um, story of the Afton family, or like the story of Emily, the missing kids. Gabriel, Susie, Fritz, Jeremy, and Cassidy. Can't forget those names. Like I'm literally making a fan game. So yeah. Um, here's my thing, right? Technically, they're not wrong. It did end there, but the franchise didn't. William is the only thing that's really continued franchise. He's like I talked a lot about this. Is that Afton is I talked this in social media, but never in a video. But Afton is like a slasher villain, or just a villain in horror medias in general. Most of them never really die. For example, let's get for example, Chucky. Charles Lee Ray actually never really died. Charles Lee Ray never really died. Even okay, even though he got splattered, cut, melted, all that good stuff in the Cult of Chucky. No, it's not the Cult of Chucky. It's the Cult of Chucky it's like the transition point to the new lore, to the new storyline. Hold up, it's not the Bride of Chucky. It's the Curse of Chucky. The Curse of Chucky is when it's like explores how much of a curse Charles Lee Ray is, you know, and how like the franchise is just gonna die when when he dies. You know what I mean? And yeah, that's the thing. Uh, franchise is only gonna end when Afton truly dies, and that's how I can 100% see it. That's why the only confirmed character to be back is Afton. The only character that is 100% confirmed to be back is William Afton. He's the only character that is back. The rest is pure speculation. Like the MCI, I highly doubt they're like gone. They're coming back because FNAF 6 kind of screamed, you know, not coming back. Just like Henry, it screamed not coming back. And Charlie, like it screamed they're not coming back. It's the ending. Like let me even see if I have here in the computer. Like the final, you know, thing that we have, like the final thing that we have for them. It's like, let me show it. It's like it's literally their gravestones. I think I don't have it here. Yeah, I think I don't. But let me see it nonetheless. It's just their gravestone, and that just like to me that just solidifies you're not coming back. Who the only character that is back is Afton. Golden Freddy itself is still speculatory. Like it's still like a speculation. It's not confirmed. There's no confirmation of like, oh, Golden Freddy being back. Golden Freddy could just, from what we know, Golden Freddy could not even come back. We don't know. There's no confirmation. There's hints for the case, but there is no confirmation for from what we know. Who else people think may be back? Let me try to remember. Yeah, I don't have it over here. I don't have it over here. Who else people think might be back? Um, I don't know. There's a lot of characters that people. Mike. Okay, I never expressed this, but the only way I can see Mike being back is if he's the CEO. I'm not gonna lie. Some people might not like it, but I would because lore wise it just makes sense. Also, there is literally no confirmation if he really did die in UCN. There is confirmation that the others died, but we never got a confirmation about him. What happened to his ass? You know. So yeah, I'm gonna put like a smoking Vanessa. Yeah, I'm gonna put a smoking Vanessa. I think it's better. Here, smoking Vanessa. Like there is no confirmation that Mike is dead. He could very well be like still gone or whatever. But like Tails, for example, Tails like makes it almost painfully obvious that they're gone. The old kids are gone. Like they're just gone. That's it. And the blob is like very heavily like shaping up to, no pun intended, the new set of murderers, because like this is the thing that people overlook so bad, and that is like when it comes to the pizzaplex, so many people died and went missing in the location. You know what I mean? For example, there's like a whole implications of a staff bot massacre that like the staff was lured, yeah, was lured into like a meeting and then killed, probably done by either Vanessa or like someone that was possessed. We don't know. Um, that that might imply that the staff bots might be possessed, which I believe it. A lot of teens also are fucking dying, like as well. Under construction, kids are dying. Like kids die. Lally's game, I think. Yeah, Haps. Two teenagers are also dead. Like what else? There's more. There's more. Yeah. Spoilers for like Bobby Dot's conclusion. GGY. Gregory's friend. Tony is 100% dead, and I'm like so sure he will end up being Glamrock Freddy and all that good stuff. Like all that stuff. I think it's quite funny. Okay, what else to talk about? Yeah, lore. Yeah, lore. Story. But yeah, like so from what we know, the original story is over. From what we know, the original story is kind of over. The new lore. Why? When I say it's better, for me, when I say it's better, I think it's better because this time around, it's actually being fought through. This is one of the many things people overlook, and it bothers me, it bothers me so much, and that is Scott confirmed back in the day that like the story, like he really didn't know what to do about the story, like FNAF, yeah, FNAF 1, yeah, FNAF 1 through 4, Yeah, FNAF 1 through 4. If you also want to count FNAF World, you know that like FNAF World it's just forgotten by Scott, so I don't count it. Like FNAF 1 through World. Scott confirmed that many times that he didn't even fucking know what he was doing. You know he was cooking a story, he just didn't know what. And then he made Sister Location, which there was a storyline. Um, but like he was only actually actually making a story when he started making the Silver Eyes. Yeah, when he started making the Silver Eyes. Yeah, when he started making the Silver Eyes. And if I remember correctly, the Silver Eyes came after 4. Yeah, the Silver Eyes came after 4. Let me check this. Let me check this. Let me Google. Let me do the thing that people barely do nowadays. Um, let me the silver, the silver eyes. When did it come? It. I want to know when it came out. 17th of December 2015. Okay. FNAF World. FNAF World came. Fuck. FNAF World came in. Yeah, 21 of January 2016. Yeah, FNAF World came after the Silver Eyes, and that's like this is like when like Scott actually was thinking about the lore story, and he also started planning more stuff. Like for example, when he was writing, okay, when he was writing like Silver Eyes, a lot of people don't understand that he also had to like write. Okay, like he also had to like write, like he also had to write, the twisted ones and the fourth closet already very early on, because that's writing books or not, they're not like they are mainly when you already plan a trilogy, you already have to plan, oh, what would I do if I made a trilogy. um Fun fact, I'm making a fan game, um making a fan game, and I'm doing a lot of spoilers, I guess, for the fan game. Doing a lot of that. Doing a lot of that for my fan game. Like, if I make a sequel to it, how would it be? Like, I need to think of every possible way. And this not goes only to for a fan game. This goes for like every story you might be writing. Like, what would I do? What do I do for in this specific scenario? Like, oh, how would the story go? How could I make the story progress in a natural way? I really don't know what's the point I'm trying to make. I'm just trying to say that writing is harder than you think. And here's the thing: the lore, the nowadays lore of of FNAF. Fun fact, actually was written in 2019. Fun fact. How do we know this? Okay, so how do we know this? Right? Fun. Okay. So when it came. When it came, the Goofia Lally's game book. The Lally's game book, right? The Lally's game book. Um, and Tom, a member of the community, you know, very nice, very nice guy, very nice guy. Um, I used to not like them because of the leaks, but I'm be real, I was just being stupid. I was just being stupid. I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie. I was just being stupid. Like no, like there is no problem with them, like leaking stuff. Meaning, like most of the times they're just like leaking a very understandable way. But yeah, basically what I'm trying to say, right, is that in this in what the what in the Goofy thing it said, okay, I got the post, image. post, and I'm gonna put it in the screen, and it's supposed. Okay, might put in the description of the video as well. And the post is: I received Lally's game for a review copy a while back. Recently, I discovered in the metadata. Fuck. Sorry, I'm dyslexic. Metadata file that the story seemed to have been started since 2019. From the frights that come from like frights, these stories have been written out and planned for a long time. Okay, which is something that people still didn't understand yet. I think that is fun fact. This story, at like the lore, the new lore, has been written. Here's the metadata. Let me show it to you. Let me put in the table. There we go. There we go. Boom. And the thing that people barely understand. Okay. The thing that we barely understand is Steel will confirm there will be no ruling. Okay. It'll- Okay, that's good. That's good. That's good. Hey, at least they said something. Okay. That's okay. That's okay. Um, Going back to the topic. Hey, at least they're not rushing a trailer this time around. That's great. Great. That's great. Basically, the lore, right? The lore. This is why everybody's here. The lore. Why do I sound like Alex Jones? Okay. That's the story, because people don't realize that a lot of the elements of the new lore was already was teased in FAZBEAR's Frights, which was made and planned way before 2019, because right, like I said, writing isn't easy. You gotta to plan out something. You got you gotta plan at least 1 or 2 years earlier. Like for the movies, it's the greatest example of how writing takes time. The FNAF movie, it took since it's been literally in writing development hell since 2015. You know, and finally we're getting in production. That's great. And the story, the new lore, that is help wanted. Yeah, help wanted through Tales of the Pizzaplex, because these books are the Tales book, the series is so obviously in the games, have been written since 2019. That okay, and that already to me solos the original lore, because this time around Scott not only was planning shit ahead, he planned a whole book saga, meaning Tales already has an ending, meaning the ending of the new lore might already been written. And this goes to me to my okay to my origin my own honest to god thing. That is, the best meme in the world. Let me get the best meme in the world, and that is this one, and that is a lot of the answers are already written down. Like Scott Coffin was in line when was in line that okay, hold up, let me. There we go. It fits the whole table. Sorry, Freddy Bully. So sorry, sorry, Freddy Bully. Sorry, Jamie. I had to do something. And the thing is, right? Thing is that okay? I like in my god honest opinion, right? My god honest opinion is that okay? I'm okay with that. I like that. This is because I'm not gonna lie. The original lore is a fucking mess. This is coming from somebody that loves the original story, the original in quotations, the season one. I love it, I really do. But oh my god, was it a mess? Like, for example, to this day, people still like debate like when Elizabeth died. To this day, people still want to know what the fuck is the shadows. To this day, people don't know what like the bite victim like saw or whatever. Like, it's not really good mystery. I'm not gonna lie. This is not because season one is just such a good mystery that there's overarching mysteries that still to this day are not answered. No, that's called bad writing. Like Mike didn't have a purpose into the fifth game. Like if like we didn't have names for the main characters from the first ever games, which is the MCI, which is Freddy Chickaboni and Foxy Golden Freddy. We did not have names for them into the sixth game because even like in the book, like even if we took the books into accountability, we still technically didn't know. No, still it was a different universe, so like we couldn't really take it like for granted because like if we take like the Silver Eyes trilogy for granted, that would mean that Cassidy would actually be possessing Bonnie. Fun fact. Michael Brooks would be Golden Freddy, which honestly should have been the case. I fucking love Michael Brooks, and he was the only good Golden Freddy in this fucking franchise outside of Kelsey. Like there's a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff like that. Uh, like, and I just think it's like really cool that now we're getting planned shit because I know it's very stupid to like to sound this sounds, but like this is what good mystery is. It's not making shit up. It's planning stuff ahead. Like past lore was really complicated. Like for example, I literally like I opened Reddit today, and like I still saw people like discussing if the purple guy in the Safe Them minigame was actually Michael. Something that we already got confirmation like years ago is still being debated. For example, but let's go to the new lore. Okay, are we still debating who Vanessa is? I mean, we are, but we already know who she is. She was a beta tester that was chosen by hand by William to do her goofy ass stuff, like do her goofy ass tasks. Actually, let me put her over here back. Let me put let me put Vanessa back. She's probably gonna be huge. Holy shit! It's a huge Vanessa. Oh my god! It's a huge smoking blunt Vanessa. Like, and that's the thing. The thing is that, like it or not, we have we're actually gonna get the answers. The thing is, are you gonna be satisfied with them? Okay, Vanessa, you had your 5 seconds. Okay, and that is like, are you gonna be satisfied with them? Are you gonna be satisfied with these answers? Spoilers for the Bobby Dots conclusion yet again, but in the Bobby Dots conclusion, there's a story called GGY, which outright confirms that Patient 46 is actually Gregory. And the story confirms this in a very good way. Like, it's really good. Like the way they reveal it's very good. And it makes me more like sad for Gregory as a character because Gregory was 100% being manipulated by Afton. And unlike the past protagonists, like the bite victim or like Michael, we don't we're not waiting like years to find out. No, we're just like we are figuring it out very quick. Everything like we figured out like Vanessa's whole like deal and like who really is Vanny very quick, unlike the past lore. And ironically enough, were all theories that were our first guests. Vanessa being Vanny was the first like theory that was being cooked but in the fan base. A lot of people just didn't accept it because it felt too obvious. Well, it's too obvious because now we actually have hints. We actually have something to work with. Gregory being patient 46 was a little bit more complicated, but it was a mystery that a lot of people already figured out when Secure Breach came out. I remember seeing like what, four like posts on like Reddit, like the gazillion on Twitter, like of people saying that, oh yeah, I think patient 46 is Gregory. I just didn't believe them because I thought it was Vanny. And honestly, no, I was wrong. Was I like I wasn't really I wasn't really 100% satisfied with like Gregory being like I'm still technically I'm not that satisfied with Gregory being patient 46, but the way it was pulled off, it was great. I feel like it satisfied me enough, you know? Just like I am like so sure it's gonna end up revealing that Tony is like Glamrock Freddy. Because I'm gonna be real, Glamrock Freddy doesn't feel like it's an old character. It's someone new. It's a new character. It's a new Freddy. It's a new companion. And I like that. I really do. Like, and I feel like people theorizing that, actually, Elizabeth is back and she's actually Vanessa because she also has daddy issues because just like Elizabeth, she has. Shut the fuck up. It's not. No. I think it's just people. I know I'm going to sound harsh, but I think it's just people coping with the fact that those characters are gone. They're not coming back. It's just like people hoping that the Blob ends up being the MCI, even though like what in what like I think it was like at this point it's like 6 books. Wait, Lally's games, um, Lally's games, Haps, the drug moon one, uh, fuck, okay, what's the one with the Bobby Dots? I know there's the Bobby Dots conclusion. Wait, let me check this really quick. Let me check this really quick. It is Lila's Games, Hap, Summonophobia, Submechnophobia, and the Bobby Dots. Yes, like so far we have like 5 books, and we already are like 5 books in, and there's already like literally no sign of anyone back, anyone from the past except Afton being back. Which, by the way, are we also just a side note? Are we really just gonna gloss over everybody that like Shadow Bonnie's just roaming around the streets like no one fucking cares? Like, are we really not gonna talk about that? Like, I find Loki hilarious, but like, are we really not talking about that? But yeah, for example, as well, I think it's quite silly, like that people really want those characters to be back. They already had their time. I would love like to see Elizabeth have like another shot, like in the story, or like Charlie, because realistically, they only started getting characterization after Sister Location in the books. Like, because before the books, FNAF 1 for free, the only character that had characterization and was actually treated as a character was Phone Guy. Phone Guy was the only, and he was fucking dead, by the way. Purple Guy had no characterization, and like, and I'm not gonna lie, it was kind of a shit thing. I really didn't like. I liked so much the fan and version of Purple Guy back in the day, but when the book came out, I started loving Purple Guy as a character. But like back in the day, like after like Purple Guy was just kind of a really fucking bad character. He was just there killing kids with no reason. And I'm gonna say this. Like, you might be questioning or like screaming at your screen right now. But that's how you make a killer. Sometimes people don't have a reason. Here's the problem though. When it's executed and made it clear that he has no reason. Afton always, like Purple Guy always was so obvious that he had a reason, but it was just never explored or explained. And to the Silver Eyes, we just didn't fucking know why. Like, his reason was so vague that like no one really know why he did the killings. Like, fuck, some people even like back in the day used to think that like he was a pedophile, And I'll be real, that was understandable because we didn't know jack shit about him. Like we knew nothing about his character. You know what I mean? But like nowadays, we know that he had a he nowadays he had a heart or too fast. Nowadays he had an arc. Motherfucker nowadays had an actual arc. And that his arc. Okay, let me get a good picture of William Afton since I'm talking about Sam so much. I think it's because like he's a prime example of like what the franchise wasn't really doing well. Now I'm gonna choose this. This is a leak. Hold up, let me. I can put Helpy. I could put Helpy, but I don't want to. I'm gonna put Helpy. I'm gonna I'm gonna put this. I'm gonna put the fourth closet Afton over. Let me just let me just there we go. There we go. There we go. There we go. Also um let me do there we go. Okay. And that is Afton didn't really have a motive back in the day. Like he was just kind of a guy doing his shit. Which I think that's kind of why people used to think the trilogy was so good because it was so vague you could literally make shit up. But like that's the problem. It's so vague there isn't even a story. I'm not joking. Like if you literally take Purple Guy out of the trilogy, there is no story being presented in the trilogy. Like that's kind of okay. Personal takeover here. I think that's why it took so long for the movie to be made. Is because like Scott deep down knew that the trilogy was just so incredibly fucked that you couldn't really do like you couldn't really know what to do. That's why he's actually adding new like elements from the new lore into the past because everything back in the day was just so vague. Like you can literally do shit. You can make shit up. For example, Wise Mike playing like going back like constantly like from to the pizzeria. Because he has a young sister named Abby, and his mom is probably dead. Because I'm not gonna lie, you can't fucking convince me that Mike's mom in the movie is not gonna die or she's already dead. For example, Phone Guy easily could be replaced with like a new character. For example, Vanessa, which like she is yeah, this is the thing that like a lot of people don't realize, but basically the phone guy of the movie. She knows about the pat, what she's gonna do, and, like what like like how it is as animatronics, and she's just like, you know what? Hello. just happened? Nothing happened. Like so, like that's the thing when it comes to the old lore, that you quite literally can do any fucking shit up, make anything up, and it just makes sense, and you can literally make like your own interpretation. And I think that's kind of like not that good. Back in the, like looking back, yeah, that's not really good. Being a FNAF fan back in the day when the trilogy came out, it was good because of the theories. Because that was the real story. The real story was nowadays there's a story. We know Afton goes for an arc, which is being a jealous son of a bitch. So wait a minute, I might have just discovered immortality, not like how to make ghost, because of Charlie. Kills five more kids because like he has this really weird like family, like this functional like family thing that he really likes. And like I don't know, the books make it very clear that he killed the five kids because he wanted to like be like he wanted more people to like either like self-insert things. It's really weird, but like he just killed the kids because he was feeling silly that day. Then he killed more five kids because he not only realized that him being silly led to him possibly discovering immortality, and then he makes the fun times, and which leads him to actually, holy shit, I might actually discover immortality, you know. And he makes the fun times. Oh yeah, his kids die in the meanwhile, like all in the in betweens of the murderers. Gives a fuck about them honestly, and yeah, and that's the thing, right? The thing is that in the in between of all of this, the Afton actually goes through an arc. Afton goes through an arc, and it's overlooked as hell. That bothers me because like he goes through a very obvious arc in the goofy games, but like no one talks about it. It bothers me. The Silver Eyes is kind of like Afton. The Silver Eyes is quite literally like a resume of what is his arc in the games, and basically like help wanted through like the current lore is him going from what I like to call the smartass. It's called the smartass, aka God Complex. It's his God Complex arc. That's what I like to call, because he's just in this really fucking weird. Like okay, it's just in a really fucking weird. You know, um, it's just in a really fucking weird like uh, you know. Sorry, got distracted. Like he just goes for okay. FNAF 3 through 6. He's like in what I like to call the smart ass phase. It's just like in the Twisted ones, he goes for like the smart ass phase. He's like, my name is Springtrap. I am better. I'm far more superior than anything that William Afton was. And far more than anything your father could have accomplished, Charlie. Like he's really fucking smart ass in the Twisted ones, just like in the books, in the games, like FNAF 3 through 6. He's like, oh, I knew it was a lie the moment I had it. Obviously, but it was intriguing nonetheless. Bitch, if you knew it was a trap, why the fuck did you came here nonetheless? You know what I mean? Like he has an obvious arc. And Afton nowadays, like as Glitchtrap, he's in his godhood arc, which is his actually, if we're going by what I like to call the laws of the Charlie trilogy, it's his final arc, which I like that. Which might mean Afton's ending might be soon, because he went through a very similar arc in FAZBEAR's Frights. and then he died because of his smart ass behavior. And yeah, I think it might like he might get replaced and all that good stuff. But that happens not. And yeah, I think honestly, in my most humble opinion, like from what my goofy out rant, okay, from now there, like this moment, yeah, I think it's like was I think it was like enough reason to understand how passionate I'm about the friend. But talking about the new characters, okay, gotta make this very clear. Vanessa, Vanessa is just Mike done right. You know what? Fuck you. I'm gonna be controversial. Vanessa is just Mike done right. Let me get my favorite image that I still have in my computer. Yeah, Vanessa is just Mike done right. You know what? Fuck all of you. Where is it? Where's found? I found it. I found it. There we go. Here's my favorite image. He's just Vanessa. Like Vanessa's just Michael done right. There we go. Here, like it's just Vanessa done. It's just Mike done right. Meanwhile, Mike had like his personality locked between like fucking 50,000 books, and it was only confirmed like really is after like Step Closer. Vanessa, we knew everything that we needed to know about her since day one, and that's cool. Hi, Eleanor. Bye, Eleanor. You know, and that's what I liked. I like that. I like the fact that like we're getting characters like Vanessa. I'm really excited in Ruin to see what happens to Vanessa slash Fanny. When I'm talking about Vanessa, I'm also talking about Fanny. By the way, since it's literally confirmed they're the same fucking character. Before literally anyone says any otherwise, let me get my other favorite book image because I really don't want to. This is my podcast, and I rant about what I want. And yeah, let me. Where did I put the image? Fuck, where did I put it? Where is it? Where is it? I know it's here we go. Here. It was just okay. And yeah, honestly, I think that's enough for today. Thank all of you being here. That's it. That's quite literally. Honestly, shit. Why is the book? You know what? Thanks. Just thanks. This podcast gonna continue? Probably not. Also, Gregory's fucking peak. Everybody that hates Gregory's a fucking idiot.